This is QTV News and I am Jenna Bosonko. Coming up, new appointments at the OIC Gambia Secretariat. Thomas Cook, a major UK-based tourist travel firm, has collapsed according to reports. TRRC hearings continue as more witnesses testify. The 2019 edition of a vibrant talent show supported by QCell has been launched. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. Stay with us. QTV has learned that the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Adama Barrow, has appointed Yankuba Diba, former head of admin and HR of the OIC Secretariat, as the new Chief Executive Officer of the Secretariat, and Esa Bokar C, former Public Relations Officer of the Secretariat, as the new Deputy Chief Executive Officer. According to a press statement from the OIC Secretariat, following an extraordinary meeting of the board of the Secretariat, both appointments were offered by the board and chaired by President Adama Barrow. Last August, the Chief Executive Officer of the Secretariat, Lamin J. Sane, resigned, followed by Nyang Jai, Communications and Branding Officer. The Organization of the Islamic Cooperation Secretariat, the Gambia, is a body set up under the Office of the President to provide the coordination role in preparation of the hosting of the OIC Heads of State Summit in the Gambia next year. Thomas Cook, a major UK-based tourist travel firm, has collapsed, according to reports. The collapse of the tour operator is expected to have some severe economic impacts on the Gambia's economy. Momodu Lamin Choi was out to find out, and he files in this report.
With its beautiful sunshine and sandy beaches, the Gambia's tourism industry is at the risk of experiencing dark economic clouds and low tourist turnout this coming season. Thomas Cook, a major travel tour operator, has collapsed into insolvency, and people are worried that the Gambia might suffer the spillover effect of this calamity. The Minister of Tourism, Ahmad N.K. Ba, has told the BBC Focus on Africa network that the Gambia is grappling with how to deal with the collapse of Thomas Cook. The firm, according to the minister, is responsible for about 30 to 40% of the Gambia's tourist visitors. He added that his ministry will seek possible options to make up for the absence of Thomas Cook Airlines. In that regard, the Minister of Tourism also revealed to the BBC that the Gambia's government is working on getting more airlines to come to the country and offer affordable services. The UK Civil Aviation Authority had informed British travellers due to travel from UK airports with Thomas Cook Airlines to cancel their trips. UK tourists to the Gambia will either cancel their visits or find alternative ways to get to the country.
Well, I see it would be a big loss for Gambia, and it's come too late in the year for other airlines to take over. There will be one takeover eventually, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's a big loss for Gambia.
The British tourist in the Gambia, she is worried about the situation but also optimistic that solutions will be found.
I know yesterday I was up at Sunbird, and I know the owner there, he's building, he's developing, and of course he's worried. Of course, we are all worried.
With 7 weekly flights from the UK and 2 weekly flights from Holland, the Gambia stands to suffer economic losses, analysts say. Sally Jackson is a British tourist who holds this view.
Well, I think the tourist economy is just going to be very low this year. You know, it's the 3rd, 4th year this has happened where something has gone wrong for tourism. And I think right from the food growers to the beach sellers to the taxi drivers to the hotel chains, right the way up is going to be very hard for them. You know, because unless they find another airline to come in, it won't be easy, certainly for people who are coming for short holidays.
The Gambia Tourism Board held an emergency risk assessment meeting today to find out the impact of this development on the tourism sector. QTV was informed by the Gambia Tourism Board that it will organize a press conference on Thursday to inform the public about their position on the collapse of Thomas Cook. Tourism contributes to 30% of Gambia's GDP and is the second highest earner of foreign revenue. An atmosphere of uncertainty has formed over businessmen and women in the tourism sector. Lamin Jai is one of those employed in the tourism business. He says that he is not sure of what will happen next, but whatever the circumstances, he hopes that solutions will be found and that the coming season will be a success. The question in some people's minds is, why didn't Thomas Cook see the red signals and inform its customers about the ultimate reality on the ground, rather than allowing them to encounter the current nightmare? Sally Jackson lashes out to the company.
Why should they be? The Swiss guy who owns, is the managing director. Why should he be sitting on billions of pounds when his company is the one that is the problem? And they must have known it. They must have known it.
The Gambia is waiting to hear from the Gambia Tourism Board with the expectation that strong measures will be put in place to swiftly rescue it from the brink of losing out on a bumper tourist season. Mamadou Lamin Choi for QTV News.
Former student leaders Alaji Nyabali and Omar Juf on Tuesday testified at the ongoing TRRC public proceedings via video calls. Their testimonies focused mainly on the events that led to the April 2000 students' protest and the impact it had on them.
Testifying via video calls, ex-presidents of the defunct Gambia Students' Union, Alaji Nyabali and Omar Juf, on Tuesday gave their accounts of events that led to the nationwide students' demonstration, efforts they made to engage government on the need to thoroughly investigate the incidents that led to the protest and the impact that the infamous April 2000 incidents had on them and their families. First to testify was Alaji Nyabali. He told the commission that in their pursuit for justice for Binta Mane and the late Ibrahim Abari, GAMSU executives held series of meetings with the police and officials of the Ministries of Education and Interior. However, he alleged that authorities showed no interest in pursuing the matter. Furthermore, he alleged that security officers provoked students and attempted to forcefully disperse them, a move he believes led to the fatalities of April 10, 2000.
From Westfield towards Jimpex, that's where most of the students started. So, as we are not very much used to this firing of the gun, so when we hear it, we will come back and see what's happening. So we say, somebody died, somebody was shot, So we saw people being shot and land on the ground. So we say, wow, things fall apart now. So that's who took to Kanifi area, went to Gamtel area to attack. In fact, Westfield, there used to be one Gamtel office. I don't know now. Students attacked that place also. The soldiers also came from Fajara barracks. I think confronted them there.
The witness also told the commission that as a result of his association with GAMSU, he lost all socio-economic rights as he was severally arrested or detained without charge by the police, his compound forfeited by the state, his university scholarship and services with Charles Memorial School were also terminated. Next up was Omar Juf, former president of the Gambia Students' Union. In his testimony, he also alleged that GAMSU made several attempts to engage authorities regarding the Ibrahim Abari and Binta Mane incidents. However, he said there was no proper investigations into the two incidents as a result of government interference. The witness alleged that frustrated by government's lack of commitment, GAMSU resorted to applying for a permit to stage a peaceful protest, but that their request was unsurprisingly not granted. He also gave chilling details of how PIU officers tortured and fired live rounds at unarmed students on the 10th of April 2000.
We were taken to the headquarters of the police intervention unit, and we were kept there, and they were beating us continuously.
Can you tell us about those beatings? Do you recall any of the officers who were involved in beating you and your group?
I cannot remember them. They were mainly junior officers. I didn't know any one of them, and I cannot remember any. Yeah.
Can you tell us what they were using to beat you and your colleagues?
They were using truncheons. They were using like the butts of their guns. They were hitting us. They were kicking us. And I very well remember they have a group of girls there whom they also arrested. They made them sat down and they were walking on their legs.
Meanwhile, prior to the commencement of sittings on Tuesday, the Director of Civil Litigation and International Law at the Ministry of Justice, Binga Dinse, on behalf of the Solicitor General, submitted to the Commission the report of the Commission of Inquiry into the public disturbances of April 10th and 11th, 2000. Ansumane Sonyasi for KTV News.
A fire outbreak at St. Peter's Senior Secondary School on Tuesday consumed the administration building. According to reports, all school records from 1975 to date have been lost. Maria Tussar has the rest of that story.
The administration building is where most of the school's activities are carried out. In the early hours of Tuesday morning, a fire whose cause is currently unknown engulfed the building. Paul L.F. Mendy, principal of the school, says the fire incident is a generational loss to the school because the records cannot be quantified, and gave an overview of the fire incident.
Last night around 1 a.m., I got a call from one of my vice principals that the office was on fire. And I had to rush all the way from my home, Farato, to come and see what was happening. Along the way, I reported the matter at the Yundum police station, and they also joined us here. At the moment, I cannot tell what the reason for the fire, what might have caused it. But like I said, the investigation is on, and we hope that perhaps the police may be able to establish the cause of the fire. Of course, jointly with the Gambia Fire Service and Fire and Ambulance Services.
Francis M. Gomez, vice principal of the school, also expressed his emotions.
I feel too bad. Really. We have lost everything that has made this school a great school. We lost all our files, staff files, student files, school documents, school records. Everything that has to do with the administration of the school is lost.
Adama Mendy, the head girl of the school, believes that the cause of the fire is arson. Although she gave no evidence for this belief, she urged the police to investigate and bring whoever is responsible to face the law.
I want the government to help us with a thorough investigation on the police so that they will help us to know what really happened, because this is not an incident that it's like electricity or something. It has been a fire set up. So I want the government to help, and also the police, and also people who know that they have heard something about this incident to also try and voice out what they feel.
St. Peter's has been renowned for academic excellence since its inception in 1975, and the loss caused by the inferno is immeasurable and irreplaceable. Teachers and students are shocked about what has happened. The school authorities have given assurance that education is their priority and normal classes will continue. For QTV News, I am Maria Tussar.
We will now go for a short commercial break. When we return, the news continues. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Looking for internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work and school projects? Think free night browsing. QCell's free night browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
to build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
with ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
You can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. The 2019 season of Rising Stars Africa is declared open, the organizers Banks Entertainment announced at a recent press conference. Babu Karfati has the rest of that story.
Rising Stars Africa is a show geared towards discovering and promoting amateur local talent by giving them the platform to showcase their talent in music, comedy, poetry, dance and magic, among others. In the past years, Rising Star Africa has been molding artists, poets, since its inceptions. As a platform that molds their participants, artists making waves in the Gambian music industry like Gorgolu, Ranger, Sunita and others were part of the first set of contestants to take part in the 2016 competition. After the competition, some of the participants managed to use the platform to create their own platform, which they are benefiting from today. According to the organizers, Banks Entertainment Rising Stars Season 3 auditions start in November this year at Q City Hall in Bijilo. With the support of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, audition of the Rising Stars Africa this year is not only going to take place in the Combos, but audition will be organized in the provinces to scout talented participants for the competition, and the Ministry of Youth and Sports had promised to make sure things work out properly. The CEO of Banks Entertainment, Mariam Banks, talks about her experience in the aspect of entertainment and also motivate people to come forward and take part in the competition.
I was very strong, and I'm a singer. I've been singing for my whole life in the UK, not in Gambia. So I have a winner. I think my winners will improve and probably sell what they have done and their achievements, and that alone can encourage the youth. Like my first winner, which is 2016, I think people will be inspired by her voice and say, oh, we want to be like Sunita. You know, she's done one of the good songs in Gambia called One Voice, which everybody, I think, probably they admire because they watch it on QTV. So, with me selling, my winner will sell out whatever. Anybody sitting down over there said, oh, she is a winner, I would like to be part of this.
Speaking at the press conference, a representative from the Ministry of Youth and Sport, Lamin Dabo, Executive Director from the National Youth Council, emphasized on the richness of Gambian cultures and further talks about the positive role the platform will play in making sure the national development plan is successful.
One may not appreciate the effort that had been put into organizing such an event, especially if you are not actually involved in events management. But those of us who are on daily basis organizing events and programs understand and equally knew for a fact that a lot of efforts, energy and time is usually invested in organizing such an important large-scale or massive event or program, which usually go beyond 1 month, 2 months, or even 3 months or 4 months. Not just your energy, but of course your time and resources are definitely invested into this, and all of us must appreciate that commitment and that dedication and perseverance from your end in pulling this off all together. I would like to also use the opportunity to thank the sponsors and all those who want to part with their little dime to contribute towards this important initiative. Of course, it may look very bright and smart on television screens, but there are people who are always behind to make it happen. So anytime we meet, we need to recognize and appreciate their contributions.
Speaking on behalf of the Director General of the National Center for Art and Culture, Sheikh Umar Jallo also assured the people that the government and their department is fully in support of the Rising Stars Africa, and this platform will help them in scouting out potential Gambian with talent. Prince Hans da Silva, the winner of the Rising Star Africa 2018, talks about the struggle he faced, but his determination of winning the competition never stopped.
No matter what, I don't even check school. Sometimes I go for studies, sometimes I dodge. But my mom don't know that. Now she does, I mean. So, I mean, I go perform the first audition. Yeah, I killed it. I'm not, I'm not on my deaf now. So we came back, semi-final, final. I did my best, and I know God helped me too. I didn't do it because of the talent. I did it to show, like, headache. If you have a stage, don't say that you are the best. Just perform and see what people will say. That's what I did, and I mean, I thank God for everything.
As QCell promised to distribute forms of the Rising Stars at their branches both in Combo and in the provinces, people have started picking forms already at the main office at QCell, at the Caraba Avenue, and at Bank's Entertainment office in Bakau. For QTV Entertainment News, I am Bobakar Fati.
A National Chiefs Forum, locally called Mansa Bengo, was held in Mansa Konko on Sunday. The event was attended by 19 chiefs from Guinea-Bissau. Lamin Dabo has the rest of that.
The National Council of Chiefs in the Gambia, with their counterparts from Guinea-Bissau, held the Chiefs Forum, locally known as Mansa Bengo, at the Regional Education Directorate in Mansa Konko. The governor overseeing LRR, Ibrahima K. Damfa, says the socio-cultural relationship between the people of Guinea-Bissau and the Gambia is historical and beneficial to both countries.
It's our shared history of intermarriage and communal relationships, which this present government is doing all it can to enhance the revival of those cultural and traditional ties for the meaningful use of our two peoples' socio-economic and cultural development.
Buba Sanyang, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Local Government and Lands, urged the chiefs to execute their roles and responsibilities effectively to serve justice.
Another important function of the chiefs is to put in place what we call alternative dispute resolution mechanism. This is one of the most important mechanisms that the chiefs must use in their communities. This, to an extent, is what made the chiefs in the colonial and the First Republic, to an extent, very, very successful. Because this particular measure, you have to use your council of elders, you have to use your religious leaders, you have to use the influential people within the community to go down to the root of the problem and solve it at that root level and prevent it from surfacing.
The Director of Governance, Fatu Jiba, explained some of the plans the ministry has for the chiefs.
As a ministry, we are doing all what we can to be able to regain back the glory moments of chiefs in our regions and in our districts, making sure that they adhere to the custom, the tradition, and the culture of our own people, so that we maintain, alongside maintaining peace and stability in the community.
Ambassador Aleuke Jame, who accompanied the Guinea-Bissau delegation, said the chiefs are pillars of our society in terms of maintaining peace and order. He urged the general public to assist the chiefs to enable them execute their functions.
They are the entry point as well for many activities that government and any development partner will have. For that being the case, everybody, beginning with the government and all players, should continue to support traditional leaders, should continue to give them their due and that highest recognition and importance that in their absence, nothing sustainable can be done and achieved.
The delegation from Bissau consisted of 19 chiefs led by their paramount chief, Augustus Fernandez, whose visit is to share best practice with their Gambian colleagues. For QTV News, Lamin Alai Fandin Dabo.
Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. New appointments at the OIC Gambia Secretariat. Thomas Cook, a major UK-based tourist travel firm, has collapsed according to reports. TRRC hearings continue as more witnesses testify. The 2019 edition of a vibrant talent show supported by QCell has been launched. That is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for your company.